Oh God. Okay, we're live. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We got a little bit of a change in lineup, but it's fine. We're here. Christine is going to be a little bit late, but she will be here. But there's already lots of people in the chat. Hello. I love that y'all are excited. I love that y'all are here to discuss. We're going to start by introducing ourselves. I mean, we're in my channel. Hi, I'm Mel. Welcome. And we're going to be discussing ACOMAF. And I gave the book 5 stars, as always. So, Sydney, if you want to introduce yourself and give the people your rating.
I'm Sydney. I am over at Sid Bookworm, and I gave the book 5 stars as well.
Okay.
Rachel?
I'm Rachel. I have a channel called Let Me in the Library, and I gave the book 2.5 stars. The only reason that I'm here, to be honest, because everybody gives this book 5 stars, and to be honest, I'm in an Instagram buddy read chat for ACOTAR. I read ACOTAR, I pretty much loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars or something. It was so much fun. And everyone's like, ACOMAF is the best. I started reading it and I was like, I don't really like what's going on. And everyone was like, keep going, it gets so good. And I was like, okay. And I kept going. And at the end I was like, so I didn't really like it. And then everyone was like, anyway, let's start talking about the next book. And I was like, whoa.
Oh my God.
Her opinion.
Look, everyone in the chat, let us know your ratings. Like, when I found out that Rachel gave the book 2.5 stars, I'm like, I need Rachel here because I need those hot takes. I need to know why she gave it 2.5 stars. Guns blazing, okay? I need to know.
I'm more than willing to fight, friendly fun. Okay, I attempted to do something on my channel, which I'm going to bring back, but it's like Simps versus Salties, and it's where people who like to read the book.
You did that for Evelyn Hardcastle, right?
Yeah. So it was fun, and I did it with friends. But the thing was, I feel like we had to fight more, which is what I'm here for. Because it's I respect everybody's opinion. We know this. I don't need to keep telling you I respect you, but I didn't like this part. Just I'm ready to fight. Let's just talk.
Rachel came in hot, people. Okay, that's why I love Rachel. When she has a rating, she sticks to it. Okay. I love it. Let's see what people do.
That's literally not true. Because I had a video on my channel where I was like, these are some overhyped books. They're not that good. And as I kept talking about it, I was like, this was not, I'm going to lower my rating. This was not that good. I'm always changing.
I know, right? Rachel's stunning.
Oh my God. Hello.
Yeah. Absolutely. Also, I literally just realized I forgot to send Christine the link.
Is that why she's late?
No, she was getting ready and she just texted me wait, where's the link? And I was like, oh.
Classic.
Oh, Christine, now you got the link. I'm sorry. 5 stars. Okay.
Yeah, somebody said they also gave 2.5 stars. Okay, I feel a little bit more
5 stars. 5. Okay. Ooh, the chat just jumped. Okay, wait. 5, also 5, which is curious though, because Rachel really, really enjoyed the first one. Oh. And the first one is not the strong. What did you rate the first one again?
I think I gave it 4.5 stars or something like that. I think. Okay. I don't remember exactly what the 0.5, 0.25, whatever it was, but it was at least 4 stars.
Okay. Yeah. 5 star for me, 5 star. Okay, Queens. Hello, Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
5 stars. This book is just everything. 4 or 5 stars in my opinion. Okay, I love to see that we're not alone. But it's okay. I saw a 3 star. Hold up. Oh, not Peyton saying she DNF'd.
Honestly, relatable. I almost did.
Oh my God. Okay, I read it 2 years ago, and I don't read SJM anymore. But just wanted to see the discussion back then. I gave the book 4 stars. I loved ACOWAR more than ACOMAF. Interesting. We'll get into this. Okay, Christine's here. Hello, Christine.
Hello, y'all. Yes, everyone. I had soap in my eye.
I didn't want to say it because I didn't know if you wanted the people to know, but
your girl was struggling, but I'm here, and I'm so excited to be with you.
You guys matching in your
yourself and give your rating.
Look at you. So cute. Match.
Look, y'all got the darks, okay? Y'all got the blacks on. Look, coordinate.
Okay, Christine, introduce yourself. Although again, I feel like everybody knows you, but give your rating. You know, the usual.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Christine from Any Endings. This is so awkward, but I gave ACOMAF a 5 out of 5.
Okay.
Okay, so
cool.
it's just me. Okay.
I
Okay,
thought,
we're different.
Oh my
I
god.
don't know why. I remember Sydney telling me her rating, but I don't know why I thought Sydney had rated it like a 4.
Oh, really?
No, like-
ACOTAR was 4 for me.
Yeah,
And
ACOTAR
then
was a 4 for me too.
Yeah, and then ACOMAF was for sure
But
5.
every night, ACOTAR wasn't that good to me. I agree.
Wait, what did everybody rate ACOTAR? So you guys gave it 4 stars each?
Yeah.
I gave it a 3.
3 stars. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, but I think we can get into some non-spoiler thoughts. Like, do we have any favorite characters, any favorite scenes? Like, before we get into the very nitty-gritty of the book.
I liked Resand until I didn't. I'll say that.
Okay.
I liked him at the beginning. I enjoyed his character at the beginning, but I just feel like he turned into such a weepy emo boy by the end that I was like, I'm kind of over you. So I don't know. I mean, okay, also, I will say that like this is my rating today as like me today reading the book, but I will say if I had read this like probably like 2 years ago or something, I would have eaten this shit up and it would have been 5 stars. I will say that. I think that like
feel that.
Y'all already know.
It's okay, Jay. You can have him. I don't want his ass. You can have him.
Not More was terrible. More was incredible.
I love
Yeah, I
you.
love
I
More.
love More.
I instantly forgot more.
Yeah,
No.
I can, I agree. I think she's less memorable in ACOMAF compared to ACO War.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not gonna lie, for a second I was like, wait, More, who's that? But then as soon as I remembered, I was like, wait, no, I did like her.
Reason is a sweetheart. I mean, I think I can definitely understand where Rachel's coming from, because you definitely go from like this dark, broody character to this person who's saying, you make every choice. I love you. You do you. Like,
I did love it every time he was like, it's your choice. And I was like, it's her choice. Oh my, it's her choice. I don't know.
I mean, it's always been a joke that Reason invented feminism. So
True. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Thank you so much, Resand, for giving us rights. I can't believe Resand invented.
I mean, I will say one thing that I enjoyed about the book, which was like a breath of fresh air. Like, it's literally on the first page, so it's not like a spoiler. There was like a
Tabs. All the tabs.
Wait, why does mine look so freaking chaotic? Like I feel like a absurd amount of tabs.
Mine,
Oh my
are like,
god.
mine are like super small. Look at how skinny they are.
Oh my
They're
god.
adorable. They're so cute.
Oh wait, there's three.
Huge.
I
It
know.
was just in half.
No,
Yeah,
but I
one
literally
thing-
wrote, we love the free choice.
You really do, though. But I will say one thing that I enjoyed a lot on page 1 was this version that SJM did with the writing. Because usually when you go into like writing classes, when like anybody gives you tips with like writing, they always tell you like start the book with action. Like the first sentence needs to be an action. And the way that she starts with thought and then she switches it to action in like the very next sentence, I don't know why it just hit so hard when I was reading it. I was like, wait, I love it.
Wait a second.
Oh my god. But I will just say, something that I really enjoy about SJM, and if you guys have read any other of her books, you'd know, I think the rep with like mental health, I really enjoyed how she did it, especially with the PTSD and the depression. I felt like it was very well paced. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that, but I think it was realistic in the sense of like the nightmares and then like the reaction physically that Sarah had to it. It wasn't just like glazed over. It was a big part of the book, which I
definitely agree. Yeah. I also think it's valuable that it wasn't pushed as like, I'm just going to give my character PTSD and just keep having her say like, I have PTSD, so I can't do things, but to just show it instead and be like, there are certain bodily reactions that she would have, or there were just certain things that would make her very afraid and would trigger her, like the color red. She would immediately say like, that's like blood. And I like, there was so much pain that she had felt. And I felt like there definitely are parts of the book that are repetitive, but I feel like trauma is repetitive. So that's not even like an issue with the writing. It's more so like, that's literally the experience of trauma. So definitely, I definitely agree.
Yeah, and I mean, she definitely used all of that to paint Tamlin as the bad guy, which I mean, I personally liked.
I mean, it's fine, I guess. I just feel like it was such a change from the first book. Although, Tamlin sat on his ass for the second half of the book, and we were just supposed to accept that. And I was like, can he like move? And they were like, he can't, because then she'll know that he feels something. I'm like, we know he feels things. Just have him have agency. Can Rhysand invent men's rights? I don't know. Like, come on. Why isn't he moving?
Men's rights for Tamlin.
Oh my god. No.
Jeez.
I mean, honestly, Tamlin, no rights. No rights for Tamlin. Like, I'm a firm advocate.
Absolutely not.
No rights for Tamlin.
Well,
Okay.
at the end of ACOTAR, I really didn't hate Tamlin, and then I know that I messaged you guys, and I was like, look, like I don't really understand, and you're like, you will, and then ACOMAF happened, and I'm like, I hate Tamlin.
I think, and this is like something that we talked about with the first live show, was that Tamlin is very much insecure and toxic.
Yeah.
And that definitely shows in this book, because I do feel like he has the best intention at heart. He just has poor execution. So he's like, I want to protect you, but he goes way too into it.
Yeah.
And he just ends up locking her up when that just reminds her of Under the Mountain. And it ends up being like backfiring on him.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of that comes up in this book.
I think Tamlin's the perfect case of like someone loving the idea of love itself and not actually loving the person. Like I every time I see an interaction between Tamlin and Feyre, that's like immediately what I think about, because it's like, yes, okay, she likes painting, but you're also not recognizing what that trauma is like changing in that discourse. And so I definitely feel that.
And not only that, it's also the fact that like it shows it in the fact that he wants to be with her. He wants to have like someone to marry and be with forever, but he isn't willing to listen and understand and like compromise what she wants too. So it was like,
yeah, especially when she was like finally putting her foot down and basically like, maybe I'll just leave. And he was like,
exactly.
no. Okay, look, fine. We can talk about this. Maybe we can compromise now. And it was like, no, you're supposed to constantly be talking to your partner and communicating. And he was just I'm not there. Like, he was not listening at all. He was just like, why don't you just stay inside? Don't fight. Don't learn any skills. You can't read. Just stay inside. And it's like, how is this healthy?
Like, he just has so many unrealistic expectations of Feyre. Like, you live in this literally fantastical world where there's fairies, there's danger, there's a possible war brewing, and you're just going to be my trophy wife sitting at home, putting on pretty dresses, choosing what flowers you're going to put on the arrangement, and that's all I expect from you, and to bear my kids. It's like, no.
Right.
And he was also constantly like, we have to go to parties. And she's like, I don't want to. And he's like, we have to go to parties all the time. It was like, how is this what she signed up for? Like, I don't know.
Yes. Hey, ladies, looking lovely as always. Just stopped by for the spoiler free and to say hi. I wasn't able to get to the book this month, sadly, but I'm planning to read it soon. Well, thank you for popping in. You're good. He's all about tradition.
That was the moment. That was the moment.
So freaking annoying. I'm like, dude, there's so much going on, and you're talking about tradition. I was just blown away. I was
like, that's how my father did it. Yeah, your father, the sadist.
Okay.
The other thing is, like, Feyre literally just freed all the fairies from, like, enslavement, basically. So she was like, you are the savior of Faye, and she's like, so can I do shit now? And he's like, no, you should be inside. We have to protect you. And it was like, she can handle herself. Like, can you help her handle herself even? Like, let her have like the lessons that she wants or anything. And he's just like, no, I need to be a bad guy this book, so no, I can't.
I mean, and Feyre definitely deals with that trauma. You can see that from like the prologue where she starts comparing herself to Amarantha. Like she's like, we're one and the same, like we're a monster. And so she's trying to like redeem herself for no, that's in the first book. Yeah, I was like, spoiler, no. For killing those Fae under the mountain, she's trying to redeem herself by trying to do something. Tamlin's not letting her. It's just infuriating that just I hate Tamlin.
Do you guys think that Tamlin experienced the same level of trauma that Feyre did? Like, I don't think it's fair to compare trauma usually, but I just think like we didn't really see a lot of Tamlin experiencing trauma the same way. Do you think that he actually felt any of the same feelings that Feyre had?
I think that he's been alive for so long, you know. I feel like at some point he definitely has, but like, I don't know. It feels like with that amount of time, you should also learn some things and learn like what you should and should not be doing and to like be doing to other people, you know.
I wonder if he doesn't see what she went through as like the same level of traumatic because he's been alive for so long, and for him it's kind of like after you live so long, certain like really big events just become much smaller. Mm-hmm. Even though what she did was like literally freed everybody in the free world, but like okay.
I think that like when we see Tamlin for the first time in Aquatar, I think he's so used to his situation by then that he's just completely embraced the fact that there's absolutely no hope. So going under the mountain and already having suffered for 50 years and then the war before that, I do think there's a certain level of insensitivity, I guess you could call it, to the situation where he's like, I'm just a third party here and it's all her doing it. I don't know if I'd qualify his level of trauma as the same. I think they definitely experience things very differently.
I think also because Feyre has experienced like a different kind of trauma her whole life of having to provide for her family and being the only person there to do that kind of thing. And then suddenly her entire world expands when she enters into the like whole fairy world, being not just like, okay, I'm just in Tamlin's little court, but it's like there's courts everywhere. They're gigantic and there's a whole war that's going to invade. I think just that knowledge itself can also be very taxing, and she probably experienced like a lot of culture shock. And then to be like, and we also want you to just save everybody is like, this is going to definitely be like a much bigger deal for her than anybody else, most likely.
Yeah. I mean, and that's, I just want to get into spoilers right away. Should we get into spoilers right away?
Sure.
17 minutes.
Yeah, it's 17 minutes. It's just because this point that we're talking about right now, the one point, and I don't know if I'd qualify that as a big spoiler or not. I don't think so. But when Feyre has that realization where he's saying, like, we all went through this, like, I did something. And she's like, you did something? Mm-hmm. I did everything. Like, you did nothing.
Right.
You can't just come in here and say.
He sat on his ass. He literally sat on his ass. Like,
and I think that's how I feel about like the trauma question, because I think it's really telling, especially when Under the Mountain, when he had the opportunity to, I hope we're getting to spoilers.
Yeah, go into it, please, go off.
But he had the opportunity to save Pharaoh, but instead he wanted to get some cheeks in. Like, I think that's super telling about how he's like processing this. And I'm like, bro, she's literally fighting for her life for you. In the moment you have some freedom from Amarantha, I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, and there's just a lot about in this book with Tamlin that I was just like not vibing with, like the lack of communication with that he just comes into the room and like fucks her senseless. It's like, wait, that's not how it works, my guy.
My guy.
No, that's not how it works. Like there's one scene where she literally had like a traumatic day. She's like, I'm not having any of it. Like I've been crying. But then he just pounded into me. It's like, wait, no. Let's backtrack a little bit. No. I don't vibe with Tamlin. But I definitely think rereading this time, I really do think there could have been more expansion into his character. Because I feel like he was just villainized just for the sake of being villainized in a way, just to justify Rhysand. Because in order for Rhysand to look good, they need to make Tamlin look bad so that they can make that contrast.
Yeah, I think that was one of my bigger problems with it, was the fact that they like pretty quickly shifted some things about Tamlin's character, that like he didn't suck in the first book. He was fine. Like I don't think he was amazing. I wasn't simping, but he was fine. And then like by the time this book came around, it just felt like they knew, like Sarah J Maas was like, we need a dark, brooding, sexy love interest, and it's not Tamlin. So the fastest way to shift that is to make the old one suck and the new one better. So it didn't feel like it was a natural transition of, or like an exposition of his character. It just felt like a very easy plot convenience in a way. And I think like it came back enough that it was being justified throughout the story.
Yeah.
And I guess there was like kind of like some backtracking between like all the different characters and saying like, actually in ACOTAR we were talking about this, remember? And that means this. And I was like, I guess, but I just don't really feel like those plots, like those seeds were not enough for me to buy into the plot all the way. And I just felt like, especially when Feyre's like first taken away by Rhysand, she's like, take me back to Tamlin so I cannot marry him. I'm just like, okay. And like, she just kept flip-flopping on her loyalties that I just like, what do you want, girl? Like, let me know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely feel like there's so much more to Tamlin, especially knowing the backstory of Tamlin and Rhysand's families.
Oh my God.
And the fact that they literally slaughtered each other in front of each other's eyes, and they were crowned High Lords at the same time, like looking at each other as it happened.
Yeah.
It's like there is so much history there that we are only seeing through Rhysand's eyes and not through like a third party or like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I wish we would have gotten more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been really interesting. But like that scene alone was like, excuse me? Like, what? Like, wasn't this like 400 pages in or something, and suddenly we would just get this?
Yeah.
And it felt very like, oh, and by the way, this happened.
Yeah, it's like, by the way, just to justify how bad he is, he cut my mother's wings off and then he hung them on his office.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, when I read that scene the first time, I was like, what the hell are y'all talking about? What?
I know, right?
I was like, nah.
Again, like that's why it felt like kind of cartoonish in a way, where it was just like, we need you to be totally sold that Tamlin is trash if you haven't already been sold by this point. So
yeah,
we're just gonna go into this whole. It's like, he used to beat me up. He used to steal my lunch money. Oh, that's not enough for you? Okay, listen. Here's what he did. It was like, okay.
But this though, iconic though. When he walks into the wedding and he's like, "Oh, darling."
Period.
Hey,
I really love
that was when I was on board with Rhysand too, because he just showed up and he was like, remember our deal? Remember your hand? Look at this. Okay, you're coming with me. And I was like, thank you. And like, we were like, no, I don't want to. I want to continue to be in turmoil about not marrying my boyfriend. I was like, oh my God, just go with the hot fairy. Just go. Just go.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, and with the whole wedding thing, I think we can start talking about Ianthe. I don't know how her name's pronounced still.
Ianthe, I think. Because I did audiobooks, so based on that, I think it's Ianthe.
The way I was ready to throw hands, okay, with that acolyte, I was like, hey, you gotta catch him fists. So I'm ready. Because she is so thirsty for power. I just need her out. But her character is interesting, though. I will say that. Like, she's very manipulative for, like, very low-key. Especially with Tamlin, because I feel like she's magnifying all of Tamlin's insecurities on the sideline. She's, like, whispering on his ear, and she's like, listen to this. Let's do this. But, hey, she's thirsty for some. Okay?
Wasn't she also, like, basically kind of, like, in a way, sort of, like, gaslighting Feyre at the beginning?
Yeah.
Kind of just making it sound like, no, it's fine. Like, you just have to go to some parties, just a few more parties, and then you get married, and then it'll be fine. And she was like, I'm traumatized. And she was like, no, you're just about to get married. I was like, no.
Wait, her name's pronounced...
Nothing. She's pronounced nothing.
Whew. Honestly, I feel this. I love to hate Ianthe. Like, I don't know. Whenever she shows up, it's like she's trying to get with Tamlin, she's trying to get with Lucian, she's trying to get with Rhysand. It's like, I literally told this to Christine last night. I was like, hey, girl, go masturbate or something. Like, Go get someone your own. Like
She doesn't deserve to masturbate. She doesn't
Take care
deserve
of
any of
yourself.
it. She doesn't deserve any of it. I don't care.
too thirsty. Too much. I wish Lucian would have told Feyre the truth about Ianthe. I just wish Lucian would have a backbone, period.
Period.
Because
exactly.
I think he's so blinded by his friendship with Tamlin and all that he owes to Tamlin for saving him from his family and his court that he's just, again, he doesn't see past it. And he doesn't realize that by helping Tamlin along, he's just, again, completely gaslighting Feyre and like making it way worse.
Yeah. I think, like, literally definition of fake friend, because it was just constantly like this idea that like, oh well, this one time he helped me out and yeah, it was a big deal, but from now on I just have no agency. And it's like not I don't know if this is even like a problem that I had with the book, but I was just so frustrated because it was like you're a powerful being. You are a powerful being. Do something. You see somebody who is less powerful than you that like just, you know, she just achieved all these powers or whatever, but like she's still lesser like power stance than you. Do something. Help her. Like teach her on the side, like whatever you have to do. And he was just like, no, can't. I'll take you on the horse over to that town so that they can tell you that they don't need help and then we can go home. What? Why are you here? Why are you here?
Yeah, I feel like Lucian was definitely another one of those characters that had such great moments in ACOTAR because he really like developed that friendship with Feyre and they had like that sibling bond, and that was completely shattered in book 2.
Yeah,
like
I don't get it. I seriously do not get. I think that's one of the other shifts that you were talking about, Rachel, that I just didn't get. Because not only with Tamlin having like a whole 180, but also Lucian, I'm like, what happened to the banter? Like, what happened to the friendship that you couldn't? And the other part was he kept, whenever Feyre tried to reach out to him, he would say things like, "Oh, you can go spend time with Ianthe." Like, huh?
I know, right? I know.
You don't even like her.
I got slightly suspicious from whenever he said that because it kind of sounded like, "Oh, you should go hang out with like the other girls and like don't even bother me anymore." And I was just like, I thought you guys were friends, but again, it feels like one of those things where she was just like, I need Feyre to not like anybody in this court at all anymore, so let me turn everybody evil, and then it'll be easier for her to transition to the other place, which still sucks, but it would have been more interesting if she was still friends with them, and it was like this weird kind of like maintenance of friendship or whatever that she still had, and it was like, I now feel like I've betrayed them because I'm still friends with them, but now I'm in this place that's better for me.
Yeah.
Would have been more interesting, but no, it's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
No, yeah, I definitely agree on that because Lucian, like the way that he completely sides with Tamlin, like when he locks her in the house and he's like, oh yeah, just so you know, FYI, he locked everything and you can't go out. Bye.
Right.
And he just often leaves like casually.
No backbone. No backbone.
PTSD. She was in prison, okay? And you gonna tell her, bye sis, you locked? Nuh-uh.
No.
Sorry, friendship out the window.
Literal invertebrate. I just don't understand.
And this is the other thing. I think it's the same parallel with like Tamlin and Rhysand. Cassian becomes the new Lucian because they have that sibling bond that was happening in book 1.
Yeah.
So I definitely do see that. I also really love the relationship in book 1.
Same.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I feel like when they brought Feyre to the Night Court and then all the other characters were introduced, it's like the same thing that happened in Twilight where like Edward's like, Bella, meet all of the
Oh my god, wait, Rachel. The way that when Moore came up, I was like, why is she Alice from Twilight?
Oh, yeah.
Exact same thing.
I literally wrote that down on my notes.
It's the same. Okay, because it's easy. It's easy not to write organic friendships. It's easier to just be like, we're all loyal to your new boyfriend, so we'll all just be your friend now. And like they had nothing in common for the most part. All these people were just like, well, we just live here too, so we'll be your friend because kind of we have to. And then it was like, I would die for you. I'll die for you. It was amazing. And like we're such good friends. And I was like, has Feyre ever had like a real friend? Because this is not friendship. Like none of this seems real.
I mean, she really didn't though, because when she lived back with her family, it was like her dad and then her two sisters who clearly did not give a single flying anything about Feyre.
However, we love Nesta anyway.
Oh, we really do.
I love Nesta.
I love Nesta too.
Day one, when she was in Akatar, and he was like, I am not chopping wood. I was like, tell her, yes. Me too. I'm not doing that. No. And she's like, why don't you wake up at the crack of dawn and chop wood? And I was like, no, like.
Oh my God. Also, really quick note, because I just saw it on my phone. I'd never noticed before that Tamlin's claws came out of his knuckles. And I found that so funny. I'm like, wait, is he supposed to be like Wolverine or something?
Right.
Wait, I thought it was just his like fingernails.
I thought it was like,
Wait, I did that too. Huh? His
It
knuckles.
comes out of his knuckles. I literally wrote down Tamlin's claws come out from his knuckles. Okay, Wolverine, LMAO. That's a literal note.
What? That completely changes the entire story.
Vibe.
Like, that's just funny to me. I'm
Because
sorry.
that means that, like, before they fight, they just like stand in that pose and just like whoosh, and like it completely changes all the fight scenes for me. Maybe this is
I'm Nesta's fake friend.
Jay is hella funny, bro. Like what?
yes.
Nesta support team. Okay, Nesta was the best. Okay, I'm jumping towards the end of the book. But when she climbs out of that freaking cauldron and Feyre says she took more than the cauldron wanted to give, I'm like, fuck yes, girl, take everything. Okay, take all the freaking cauldron with you.
Period.
Okay, the way that she also went into the cauldron, like, because it was like she gave a finger to the king, and I was like, I know which one. I know which one. Into the cauldron, and I was like, this is bad bitch energy. I love her.
Hey, for real, goosebumps.
However, I have to.
Everyone has a however for everything.
However, question. Why the fuck did the king do that? That makes no sense.
Because he wanted to try out the cauldron.
Yeah, but okay, wait.
I agree. It doesn't make any sense.
It's so dumb that he grabbed Pharisees like sisters and then let them go.
It's so stupid. Okay, he literally was
just to get to Feyre, I think.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, let me take these two people who don't like me and then make them really powerful so they can beat me up in the next book. Right? I mean, like, because now they're super powerful fairies. Versus, like,
not you skimming through the fight scenes. Shame. Okay, imagine the little bell from Game of Thrones. Shame.
I don't know what to say to you, Kristen.
Oh my God! But yes, okay. But this though, which is connected to the cauldron thing.
Okay, how did they not imagine that was gonna fucking happen? That's my thing. Like, why did they think that they weren't going to go?
Why did they think it wouldn't work?
Well, no, I feel like it definitely wasn't gonna work.
Yeah.
Yes, like
absolutely.
There's no way that they were gonna keep it a secret.
And Feyre knew. Feyre was like, I don't want them to know. Like, I don't know why we're doing this.
And they're like, it's the only way.
I agree.
It's the only way.
It's like, no, it's not the only way. Don't show them the one thing you've been hiding for 5,000 years.
That was stupid. Where it was just like, you have to let them know. And I was like, no. Like,
well, also, okay.
They were under attack? How could this happen? Oh my God.
I know. It's like, who could have done this? But also, this one scene with the queens where Feyre's like, give them the book. And they're like, no. And then Cassian comes up and he's like, I'll protect you with my life.
Yeah.
Hey, my heart. Cassian has my heart.
That scene. That's hilarious.
I freaking love that. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay. Is there, like, because this is my first time reading the ACOTAR series, so like I don't really know anything that happens in the next book yet.
Me either.
But the mortal queens and stuff, honestly, I like barely can tell what's going on with them, like what's their deal. And there's like, I don't know, 2 of them, 12 of them, 6 of them? 6? Okay. Why? Like, what? Why? What is their deal? I like don't know. I feel like I blacked out for half of this book because they were we have to go get this thing from like a lighthouse and we're gonna steal this thing and then we have half the book, we'll combine the book. Now there's just mortal queens and they want this thing and maybe we should give it to them. And I was like, who are you? Like, I just don't know where you came from.
They're like the representatives of the human realm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just Why? Why do they have power? Why are they valuable?
I mean, my thing was like, which always just dumb move. Like, humans are greedy. Don't give them more power. It's like, why would Faye give them powers? Like, the way we know it.
I don't understand why they took them seriously. Like, I don't understand why the Fae were like, let's actually negotiate with the Mortal Queens for real on actual equal footing instead of like try to get the better of them or anything. It just seemed like a weird general take that they were like, we're just gonna actually level the playing field instead of being like, we can kill you with our brains. So like, why?
Yeah, and the thing about the queens is that their role will really come into play in the newest book.
Okay. In the new novella?
No, in the actual like Nesta book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's when they come into play. But I saw this comment and my heart went boom, 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 boom. The type was super interesting. I really liked the water wraith thing too.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really nice contrast with like, again, Tamlin and Feyre and how she keeps her humanity.
Can I just say a quick little like R.I.P. not actual rest in peace, but like for his soul, Tarquin. He just wanted friends.
I know.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Yes.
the way I was fangirling last night when I read the line like, it would be really easy to love you and even easier to be your friend. And then we said it back, and it's like Tarquin is genuinely like nice. He's 80 years old. He's literally a puppy. He was like under the mountain when he was like 30, and he just wants some genuine friends. Why?
I know. I felt really bad.
Honestly, for me, it's like Nesta, Tarquin, and then everybody else. Like, no rating for everyone else, but just
supremacy. He was so wholesome.
He was wholesome. He was cute.
I love Tarquin. I mean, honestly, though, have you seen illustrations of Tarquin? I agree with the statement.
Okay, wait. I need to look this up. Hold on. Tarquin.
Hey, he look cute, okay? But also this one, like the scene where Moore comes to rescue Feyre, and Feyre just tells Tamlin, like, I'm drowning, and he completely glosses over it.
That scene always, I was telling you this last night, like that scene always just punches me in the gut. Like every time she just feels, when she actually got locked and trapped, I was like, I couldn't even imagine what that would feel like again. Like feeling literally trapped inside, can't do anything. Like I could not. I hate that scene. It makes me cry every time.
I know. But you know what? I love Alice. Alice always comes through for our girl Feyre.
Okay? She's not going to play.
She got us. Okay? She got us. But
her Alice.
Yeah, Alice. Favorite character in the book. I mean,
definitely Nesta.
I love Nesta, but I will say not a character that's that prominent in this book. But I love that scene with the bone carver. Okay, so I'm gonna say the bone carver.
Yeah, that
I
was
really love
creepy.
Amryn. Amryn's my favorite character.
Oh, really?
Amryn. That's
Hey,
good.
that last scene when they winnow back to the night court and Amryn is freaking out and asking, "Where is Feyre?
Okay.
Where is she?"
It was like, are you gonna go get her, or what are you doing? Like, what's up?
Yeah.
Cries. Crying intensifies. Sid, what about you?
I mean, I would probably. I mean, Bone Carver was honestly a really good answer because that was like, I think, the wild card character of the whole story.
Yeah.
So like, I would probably say Bone Carver or Amryn because they were the ones for sure.
I mean, I just don't. For me, Rhysand, I just don't think he knew how to go about the whole maid thing because there's obviously bound to be some possessiveness with that. But it's like, Rhys, you have this other chick on your lap. You can't get mad at Feyre.
Yeah.
But I think I understand this too because I think like everyone's been there, right? Where like you are in love with somebody else and they don't even look at you like that. And you're like, okay, or like you're mad at each other and you're dating or whatever, but like you're mad at each other and they're just like purposefully doing shit and you're like, okay, and like but it doesn't change how you feel. And I think it totally makes sense for like why he was feeling so jealous about this, especially given what happens near the end of the book where I'm like, all right. So, like, I mean, I felt like it made sense. And also the fact that Tarquin was, like, a sweetie pie. He was, like, 80, but he was a sweetie pie. So.
I felt like I was going through the emotions with Feyre. When Feyre was hyperventilating and she started, like, trying to winnow, I was definitely, like, my body just felt heavy reading that. I was like, poor girl. Like, I can't even imagine what it must be like to be locked literally in a prison cell for months. And then for your fiance to, like, literally lock you home when he promised you verbatim that he would never do that to you.
Yeah.
He's shit.
He is shit. And he can eat some shit, too. He can eat some shit. Asriel, okay. Again, there is something about that shadow thing. Okay, he's sexy. Okay, that's really sexy. He can get it. I need to know though. What do we think about Lucian and Elaine being mates?
Oh my god.
I'm actually here for it. I don't know. I feel like every time that there's like a moment, I don't know. I can't really like compartmentalize it into like different particular specific things, but I just feel like the moment when he looked up and he was like, "You're my mate," and then she was just gone, I was like, ooh, okay, I'm interested again. Maybe I will read the next book.
I think if you're interested, you're really gonna like Echo War. I was like, I can't speak on it because of what happens in Echo War, so I can't comment.
Yeah, I mean, but if you're looking for more Elaine Lucian dynamics, you're gonna love Echo War.
I also really liked because like we're spoiling, so it's fine. I liked like the end of the book because like I like angst, I guess, where where she was just like, I'm gonna pretend that I was under mind control without actually telling Rhysand, so he's just gonna have to like hopefully get what I'm saying.
And she was like, "This is our last game, another one of our games." I was like, "Okay, period."
Okay, that's like I'm super into that. So when she was just like, "Oh man, Tamlin, baby, oh my god, I'm so sorry. What did he do to me?" Oh, I have to believe that she's like a horrible actress, and she was just like, "Oh no, sorry."
I love how at the end of that, when she was finally back at Spring Court, and Lucian's just like, I know this bitch is lying. Like, I know she's lying.
Yeah.
That shit is forever funny.
Elaine, except for maybe we were trying to. Oh my god. But for real though, that last scene when Rhysand just goes, "Yeah, she's not my wife, she's not my mate, she's the High Lady of the Night Court."
Period.
And Moore just completely goes, "You literally let the High Lady of our court go elsewhere. You literally." But then the last line. Okay, no, I need to read this. I can't just.
Period.
Read
it. Say
it. And so Tamlin unwittingly led the High Lady of the Night Court into the heart of his territory. Yeah,
that was the moment, because then I was like, we are getting some spy shenanigans. We are infiltrating. Now this is enemy territory. This used to be like a homeland, and now it's enemy territory. I love that. I don't know why. I can't name the trope. Whatever that trope is, that's my shit. That's what I want.
It's so freaking fantastic, and also the way that all of that was foreshadowed, as well as her sisters turning into Fae. Like, I think I literally wrote it down here. The foreshadowing for Feyre's sisters was literally on page 74, and the foreshadowing for Feyre becoming High Lady was on page 33.
Okay, wait. Give us the readings. Give us the readings.
Page 33. Let me pull it up. 33. Where is it? Oh, here we go. A few days before the wedding ceremony, guests began arriving, and I was grateful that I'd never be High Lady, never be Tamlin's equal in responsibility and power. A small forgotten part of me roared and screamed at that. I was like, interesting. I'll take it. And then...
Okay, I don't know if this is 77, but I know there was a part where somebody was asking Feyre, like, "Oh, are your sisters coming to the wedding?" And she was like, "They wouldn't come to."
Okay.
But she was like, my sisters would never come to like they hate Fae. They would never come to the fairy court. I was like,
Jelly
But yes, the favorite sister thing was on page 74, and it was you want to save the mortal realm, then become someone Prithian listens to, become vital, become a weapon, because there might be a day, Feyre, when only you stand between the king of Hybern and your human family. I was like, interesting. So it was all there.
okay, but also that kind of feels like very direct, where it was like, this is definitely gonna happen later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I don't know if I like that, because that kind of also means that like Sarah J Maas was like, I'm gonna make this happen later, so I'm gonna make a character, make sure that she tells Feyre that, so that later Feyre's like, oh, maybe this was foreshadowed in my life.
What are Jelly's thoughts? Not
What did Jellybean give the book?
Yeah.
Jellybean, you rate the book. Tell the people. Oh my god.
Jellybean gave it 1 star. He did not like it because he was not in it. He needed to be the star of the show.
He's
Oh
stuck.
my God. Well, we also talked about this last night when we were reading the way that they just call Amryn the tiny ancient one. Hey, that's cute.
I freaking not y'all calling me the tiny ancient one at 3 in the morning. I was like, what the hell are you guys talking about?
But this part though, that and also when Feyre's winnowing and more comes for her and she just keeps repeating like, you're free, Feyre, you're free, like you're free. I just waterworks, just kept crying and crying. How rude of Miss Maas to not put jelly.
Oh my god, y'all, stop.
Oh my god.
Wait, not Jaleesa saying the wing tickler.
Okay, but honestly though, when she goes Illyrian baby, I was like, ooh, okay.
Oh my god. That's hilarious.
Okay, but yes and no, because I personally am within the people that ship Elaine with Asriel.
I agree.
The silence.
But it's because for the people who read the series before, like it's not unfounded, but it kind of is at the same time.
That was so out of left field for me.
Yes.
I was not expecting that.
It's because of Echo War.
Okay.
Yes.
Sid, have you read the series before or no?
No.
Okay. All right. So we're both babies in the series.
Yeah, definitely.
Christine, have you read it?
Asriel and Jaleesa.
Reread.
Have
just read it.
you read it once before or like multiple times before? Because I know Mel's read this like so many times.
Oh no, this is my first read. I read this in December. So
okay.
Reread. I'm still a baby. I don't know what the fandom. Look, I didn't know who was doing what.
I'm gonna be honest. As everyone keeps bringing up, like, oh my god, Cassian, oh my god, Asriel, I'm like, ha ha ha, and then I'm googling who they are in the corner. I don't remember. Because I'm just like, yeah, I want to be a good host on your show, but honestly, who was that? Everybody me, so like I don't really remember what the difference between the people is. I did remember there was like a person who gave Feyre like a little necklace thing and was like, keep it, and I was like, I liked her, whoever that was, but do I remember their names? Not really.
Okay, holy, that's interesting. I've never heard that one before. It's interesting. But yes, also the Court of Nightmare scene, that was hot too, okay? ACOMAF just being
I am bothered. Hot and bothered.
Hot and bothered. The way she was just like, hey, okay, touch me everywhere. I'm gonna grind on you a little bit. Okay, let everyone see. I was like, okay, Miss Feyre girl, get it, I guess.
I'm sorry, but Miss Feyre blossomed in that scene, okay? She was like, I'm not no little girl from the woods no more.
Right.
Me.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Elaine getting 2 minutes? I don't think Elaine get that much. I don't know if I could handle that.
Wait, Elaine was gonna marry like some random guy from the village.
Yeah,
right?
a human guy. Yeah.
I don't remember why, but we were like, we don't approve of whoever.
I mean, it's because he hated the Fae. He's like, Iron Castle, like nobody's gonna get in here. I'm gonna shoot all y'all down and kill them. But
yeah, we don't approve. We don't approve.
We don't approve. I'm trying to see what other notes I have in here.
Wait, this is a great comment. When she gives him soup and he's like, we're married now.
Hey, but that's iconic
I
though.
love that scene though.
I love that.
About this scene.
The words that eat will never be the same. Will never be the same.
Okay, but the way that she literally went, I'm gonna cook, and he was like,
I know. That was literally the whole like, oh, you don't have to because feminism now. And she was like, no, I'll cook food now. And he was like, your choice. Oh.
He was like, you're cooking. You do know that means that if you do that, you accept the maid bond. I was like, I've never heard that one before.
That felt kind of made up, to be honest. When he was like, it means that, I was like, when do we establish? Like, no.
But honestly, I love that scene. I just love the entire backstory on like, it just tied up really nicely, in my opinion, with like her drawing and like drawing the stars.
Yeah,
and,
that's what I was gonna say. How like we got the insight from Rhysand's point of view of like he saw her in his dreams, like painting the night sky or like, you know, doing all that shit. And I was like, okay, that's it for me.
Literally.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just saying this. Everyone keeps talking about chapter 55, but I love chapter 54. Like that's my favorite chapter, I think.
Like
I enjoyed the whole backstory for sure. I just don't love that at the end he was like, and that's why it's always been you. Oh. And he was just crying. And I was like, eat your soup, boy. Like, what? You're hangry. Like,
your soup, boy.
I mean, but honestly, props to her. Okay, she said, "I'll decide if I want to or not, or if I'll give you the soup." Okay, could you imagine if Farrah had sat down and she ate the soup herself? She's like, "You ain't getting nothing."
Yeah, I'm just like, oh,
hey,
no.
I would have been like, mood.
Sorry, you gotta work harder.
You can
I mean, for real, but the backstory did make me cry. For real. Because
it was sweet.
I don't know. A lot of people say that it's kind of random how it comes up, like the whole Rhysand being made with Farrah from the first book of like, oh, I was looking for you. I finally found you. I've been looking for you for forever. But I really do feel like it tied up nicely with the whole story.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have a problem with that. I thought it was fine to have the whole, like, when he first found her on Fire Night.
let him cry in his soup.
I'm crying in his soup, though.
Yeah, that's the condiment, the tears. That's the salt.
The salt.
Add your own little flavor. I don't know. I just felt like it made sense with the whole, like, when she first met him on Fire Night and he was like, oh, I was looking for you. And I was like, oh, good. Like, huh. And then when they actually explained that it was like he was literally looking for her, though, I was like, okay, I get it. Nice. Good.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with that. And the way that, like, they backtracked what happened in ACOTAR and, like, made it fit in ACOMAF, I was like, good. Fine. I just don't like what an emo boy he was for her because literally the entire book, Farrah is a complete asshole to him. And we have not talked about this, and it is 52 minutes into the show. So let me just go off for a second.
Go off, sis.
The entire time.
Rachel, let us know.
Entire time, like from book one until like the moment that he started talking, she was like, all right, you can have some soup. She was such a dick to him the whole time. Like, he's like, hey, I would like to teach you how to make it so no one can invade your mind and you can read. And she was like, I hate you. You're making me study. I hate this. And he was like, huh? And like, I loved like what he had her read where it was like, you are absolutely delicious. And I was like,
period.
I love it.
I love the note, like the note passing in this book is so cute.
Yeah.
I agree, Rachel. She was it.
I mean, I love that. I love that Rhysand did that because he was such a cheeky little rascal scandal. I don't know. I liked what he did because it was cute. It was cute.
Literally, when he throws the shoe, you better bet boy likes that. That's your one.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's why I was like, the appeal for him, like, to me, the appeal is that he's a like dark, mysterious guy, whatever, but like he's funny and he's just out of reach, kind of, but he seems to be like, I don't know, he's sassy, he's funny, he has like this kind of what's the word? I don't know. He's.
No, I feel you.
You know, like he's not.
I get that feeling I get that feeling every time they mention like how Feyre like feels like a chuckle or a laugh shoot down her bond every time. Like I get that sensation that
Yeah.
you're feeling every time I read that line because
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, he's hilarious. Like he's hilarious.
Yeah, like
Ew.
he's funny, he's cool, he's like just out of reach, but he's not a fucking simp. And then at the moment where he's like, but I've been simping for you all this time, and she's like, oh, okay, I guess I like that now. And I was like, you didn't like all the stuff before this, but the fact he's simping for you now is now what you like? Like,
Yeah.
I thought he was like perfectly good as a love interest, but then
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
so much for Feyre to be like, oh, now I guess I love you all of a sudden. And I was like,
Yeah.
I just feel like she should have, I don't know, like she definitely like swapped loyalties plenty throughout the book, but I felt like she already could have been attached to Rhysand, and it was kind of weird to me that he suddenly blew up to the fact that he was like, yeah, we're mates, and she was like, how dare you not tell me we were mates, I'm gonna hide in a cabin and paint, don't bother me. And
I definitely do think it all comes from Tamlin though, because like Feyre had no idea who Rhysand was until Lucian and Tamlin started being like, he's the worst, he's a torturer, he's a murderer, he was a bloodlust asshole. And it's like, no, he's not. That's just the image that he's giving you. Let her figure out by herself who he is.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I mean, I feel like in that situation, I give her the benefit of the doubt because her interaction with Rhysand in ACOTAR was literally when he beheaded someone and put their head on a spike. Like, I mean, I would get it, I'd be like, nah.
But this part though, because literally like Feyre sees
Yeah.
Rhysand for the first time and she's like, this is the most beautiful creature I've ever seen and like ever. So she was clearly like physically attracted to him, but she was like, I'm with Tamlin, who's subpar, so I'm just gonna stay here. I can't switch. So yeah, but I definitely, where was Carla's comment right here? This part though, that Rhysand cared enough to teach her himself instead of the whole Tamlin thing, which was the reverse. Tamlin was like, I can write the note for you, I can read for you. It's like, no, let her learn by herself. If you want to help her out, but let her learn, okay?
yeah.
Well, and that was the biggest part of me like realizing how like the first major part that made me realize how much Tamlin sucked, because like he knew that she potentially had all of these powers from all the courts, but he was like, no, we can't help you train because then everyone's gonna know. While like, no, that doesn't make sense. And Rhysand is like, no, we gotta foster this. You have to learn, we gotta figure out what's happening, you gotta like hone in your power. I'm gonna teach you how to read, how to write, like be a better human, be a better person. Yeah. And I was like, yes.
I know, but it's that right there you can see the contrast between Tamlin's court and then Rhysand's court, because Rhysand's inner circle, like his second and third, are women, like, and then Tamlin, like it's all men in the army, in his inner circle, which doesn't exist, but literally it's all men. So he doesn't accept Feyre doing more than what his views of women are.
And all he was going to allow her to do was sit on the throne and I don't know, go in the garden and shit.
Yeah.
Like wear the ugliest wedding dress in the world that she hated. Like,
yeah.
That part. I'm like, he's not even letting her sit pretty on a throne though. Like,
right.
I'm like, you can't even give her a nice dress. Oh yeah, you trash. Trash.
Just further proof that Tamlin doesn't have taste. So honestly, I wasn't that surprised. But I don't know. I just feel like Tamlin didn't. His reasons were so bad. Like his reasons for why Feyre couldn't do stuff were so bad. Like they didn't even make sense. Which was just like furthering the point of like, so you just want to like keep her in a castle and keep her like hidden from everyone else.
It's like, for real though, what would happen if someone raided your castle and she was the only person in there because you locked her in there? What would happen then? She dies because a poor incompetent ass who did not want to train her.
Mm-hmm. And I also think that he was afraid of her like learning more and doing things to realize that she was better than them. Because then when she left, then she was like, I think I just fell in love with the first thing that I saw. And, like,
didn't want to buy another.
I have reptiles literally everywhere. Like, what?
Oh my God.
Okay, Christine.
Who's that one?
This is a leopard gecko. Oh my God.
He's so cute though.
Oh my goodness.
So cute.
Yes.
I'm kind
What's his name?
What's his name?
It's a girl.
Oh,
wait.
okay.
Is it a girl? Yeah, I think it's a girl. Her name is Leo. I don't know.
It's cute.
Okay. I think it is. I think there's definitely like when you think about each I was gonna say high ladies, high lords giving her like a little bit of their power. I think there's definitely a part in there of Tamlin that like I don't want her to be more powerful than I am, so I'm just gonna keep her contained.
Yeah.
So and toxic masculinity coming through with Mr. Tampon.
Yeah, fun.
I guess.
So, when I first read this series and Mel was like, "You're gonna hate tampon," I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "What is happening? Who is that?"
I agree with this because again, Farah came from a background where she was like living a rough life, and the first time that she ever saw somebody like taking care of her, like giving her like food and like dresses and like attention, she was like, I guess we're both broken people that found each other at a very convenient time, so I guess we'll just make it work."
Yeah, I think that's like usually the way that things probably happened in her village, where it was like, we don't get to get like the happily ever after. We get whatever we get. So I'm not going to try to fight for anything better. And then having been thrown into the world of the first book in ACOTAR, I think that she thought like, oh, this is the best because it's definitely not what I would have had back in the village. So this is probably as good as it gets. And she never got to learn that it was better, which also, because I did not get to like speak about ACOTAR because I wasn't on the ACOTAR show, but I just want to say the trials at the end of ACOTAR.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Uh-huh.
I know Rachel was living for that because she loves trials. I know.
I love trials and I love death games. So the fact they were like, we're going to do a trial death game and there's a riddle. I was like, a riddle. Oh my God.
Did you crack the riddle?
Okay. I was reading this with Darian. I think probably Darian told you this, but like we were reading it kind of like buddy reading at the same time. And I had like read the riddle thing and I was like, is it a disease? And she was like, could it be like polio? Could it be this? I was like, nah, it can't be what she's guessing. All right, it's got to be something else. And I was thinking about it and I was like, it's got to be a one-word answer because it's always a one-word answer. But it's not going to be something lame like love. So it's got to be something else. So like we kept going and I was like, she'll solve it for me. I don't have to think about it. And then literally Darian got to the riddle at the first thing and then she texted me and she was like, is it love? Because that's going to be stupid. And I had like just gotten to the end and I was like, so I'll talk to you when you're done reading because I can't speak right now. Like
The way that when I first read that, I was so just I cannot solve a riddle to save my life. I was like, is the answer Amarantha?
Because I was like, maybe it's a person. Maybe it's like a totally abstract concept that I don't know yet. But I don't like if I knew what the answer to the riddle was, I would have been like, okay, whatever. And I would have like gone through the rest of the trials and been like, just say the answer. It's a lame answer, but like say the answer, just do it. Yeah. But I feel like the fact I didn't really think about it at all. And I was just like, let's just go along for the ride. Let's just have fun with it. I know how small my brain is and so do you now. Okay. Look, it's fine. But
I didn't even try, so.
No, me either. Really, Christine. I was just like,
yeah, I was like,
I'll find out.
They'll tell me in a few pages. It's fine.
Okay, but this scene, how we haven't talked about the scene though. Okay, when he literally like blasts his power, in a fit of rage, and he's like, "Oh, baby, I'm sorry." Literally, sign of an abusive relationship for sure.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah, that was a bad time. Also, the fact that like she basically only really like. I wouldn't say like survived, but like she got out of it basically unscathed because of what she learned from Rhysand to like be able to kind of like block everything. And she created like a protection thing around herself, which she probably wouldn't have been able to do, meaning she would have gotten hurt. And I think also if she hadn't learned the things that she did while with Rhysand, she probably would have been like, this is just the way it is. And it sucks, but it's fine. And like she would have been like, oh, you lost your temper, so it's okay. And she would have continued to go through that cycle. But I think because Rhysand was there, which is like, this totally would be the invention of feminism that like a man still kind of ended up saving her anyway, but it's her choice. But I think the fact that like he existed and gave her an out so that she could leave was the like catalyst for everything else that happens in the story. So I mean, it's definitely like it's the textbook abuse. It's got to be the textbook abuse that like actually shows the whole like let's cut off from the autumn court and like move on.
Yeah. And this thing too. with the nightmare thing, like Tamlin not even waking up to acknowledge the fact that she was like
Bro, slow.
and he was awake because she was like, he's probably awake and he just didn't like stand up.
Right.
And the first time that she does that in front of Risa, and he's like, you know, putting up her hair, and he's like, "You're fine. Like everything's gonna be okay." Like, you know.
Yeah. The thing is though, is like I don't understand. Like, I just don't understand like why, because Tamlin didn't seem to always be this way in ACOTAR, and I just felt like it was such a forced character choice to be like, we're gonna make him the worst. He will not even look at you. And
it was a really, really big 180. Now that I really do think about that part of the story, because I feel like in ACOTAR he would have like helped her.
Yeah,
but like now,
Yeah.
But I feel like after reading ACOTAR, when I was reading ACOTAR, I definitely liked Tamlin's character. But then when I found out the reason he was doing things and like the Beauty and the Beast aspect of ACOTAR, I was like, well, okay, I'm not kind of feeling you anymore, because I felt like then the things that he was doing wasn't genuine. And then that kind of made me shift gears in ACOMAF. So
Yeah, this part though in Callan mind, he literally did not give a fuck about consent, and he was just like, "All right, here we go." It's like that's
true.
how it works. That's not how it works, Mr. Tamlin. So like to me, it was always like he is doing this because he needs to. Like at this point, she is the only hope, and there's like no other choice for him. But he still didn't give two flying anythings. Like he was sitting on his ass for 50 years doing nothing. And he's like, I sacrificial lamb, the last one to go. If it works, it works. And if it doesn't, I guess we're just gonna stay with masks on and no power.
right.
Well,
yeah, I feel like he would have did that with any person in Feyre's shoes and not Feyre. Versus if Rhysand, I would know that he's doing it for Feyre and wouldn't for another person he was interested in.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you guys know about ACOTAR. Like, I literally texted you guys when I was reading it. I was like, yo, is Tamlin weird?
Sydney was so confused. Sydney was like, wait, is it just me or is he like not good? We were like, oh, you're fine, you're fine.
Why is he weird?
Yeah. And this too, the Illyrian war camp, what's his name? Lord Devlon, whatever his name is, like the girls need to do their chores first before training. It's like,
okay.
Oh, that was stupid. Yeah. That was just wrong. That was weird.
And I also saw another comment about, I can't find it now, but about Rhysand having like a strong female, here it is. Tamlin is a result of his upbringing. Absolutely, yes, I agree. And we talked about that in the first live show for ACOTAR. And Rhysand had a strong female in his life growing up who empowered him. I do agree. I do agree with that.
Yeah, and I feel like we never talk about Rhysand's like relationship with his mom and how that has impacted his character. I mean, generally, I feel like his mom comes up, but it's like we never really, like, I feel like all the things that he does is because of his mom, and I think I just want to appreciate that.
I don't know if he would have helped, honestly. I feel like he is so caught up in his own head that I don't know if he can see past himself.
I think like I knew kind of like generally about the ACOMAF thing, that I knew that there was going to be a switch to Rhysand. So in ACOTAR, I was like not that interested in Tamlin, where I was like, yeah, he's just like a one book like love interest kind of guy anyway. So I wasn't really that compelled. But I think even that aside, I was like, this guy is like not doing a lot. Like he's doing not the most, he's doing the least. I just feel like he was so complacent in like his position of like this curse that's going on, and like, oh man, I guess I gotta like save this human girl. And like I don't know, like kind of like what you guys were saying, where it's just like, I feel like if it was anybody in her shoes, it wouldn't make a difference to him.
Yeah.
And it's easier to look back on it after reading ACOMAF and read it that way. But I also just don't feel like I was that interested in Tamlin in the first place, in the first book, because it just felt like, whatever. Like, I liked the whole fairy tale retelling. Apparently that's my thing. I didn't know. But when we got to the second half, I was like, oh shit, yes, perfect, amazing. And like everything that happened was like really, really great and really fun for me. But I don't think Tamlin was ever a part of the equation for me of like a plus for anything. I was just like,
Yeah.
it's whatever. And going to this question, maybe, because this does happen for some people, but
Yeah, I do agree. Because whenever Feyre wants to talk about it, he's like, nope, here we go. So
Yeah.
maybe that's a way to avoid the conversation.
Yeah.
And this part too, he seemed to not know how to handle her trauma, so he decided not to try. That's also factual.
Yeah, because I think he also used sex as like proof that he loved her, but it was like, this is not like what she needs at all. She needs you to communicate and speak to her. And he was like, but we're fucking, so it's good. Like, it's really not.
Yeah. Yeah, Rhysand isn't afraid of a powerful woman. His mom was strong-willed. Mor and Amren are his second and third, and they make major political moves in his court and the rest of Prithian. I agree. And also, like, the fact that Tamlin just grew up with a dad who kind of abusive. So, like, you know, that what to learn and what to replicate. So it kind of makes sense to me. But yeah,
it's kind of sad though to make like to perpetuate the idea that if you're a victim of abuse that you would just perpetuate it. I think that's sort of like, I don't think that was like the point of what Sarah J Maas was trying to say, but I think it's kind of like not a fair conclusion to come to either, because I think Rhysand definitely benefited from having powerful women in his life, but I don't necessarily think that Tamlin would have been like exactly the same if he had also had those things, because each person is just so particularly different, and they both went through completely different experiences that completely shaped their
and like Rhysand's dad was also
Right.
He had his own stuff going on. Like he was like only nice to like his mom. Everyone else was like the same thing as Tamlin's dad. So they were both definitely victims of circumstance, but they all decided to deal with it differently.
Yeah.
So definitely agree with that. Every time I had sex after a fight, I was cringing. Honestly, yeah. And that's the toxicity about that relationship. It's just like we can't fix it through communication. We're just gonna release it physically, I guess. I think the decline of Tamlin's character is when Feyre finds out that it was all because of the curse. He never really loved her. He just wanted to protect himself. I don't know if I would say protect himself necessarily. I think it was more a move out of desperation, because at that point she was like the last hope he had, because like the deadline was up. The deadline was like a month from then.
I also never really got the impression that Tamlin was even like trying to break the curse. I just felt like he was kind of like, maybe if it falls into my lap, then something good will happen. But he never like tried at all.
I mean, for sure. Like, and you see that with Lucian trying to push him. Like, you know, we're all here because we believe in you, and you're doing absolutely nothing about the situation. And Tamlin's like, and he doesn't even try. So I definitely think Feyre was also kind of convenient in the situation, because he was definitely not trying at all. Az's backstory and about his scars on page 181 was really sad, but maybe Rhys could have respected Az's privacy. I do agree with that too. I mean, I think I don't even know how to go about that particular situation, because everyone handles stuff differently, and maybe Az just feels comfortable with like Rhysand telling his story. Like, I really don't know, because it's never really specified in the book. But yeah, I don't know.
I feel like the relationship in the inner circle is complicated because there's like another moment where it was Rhysand and Cassian, and Feyre was like, "Oh, like, do you worry about Cassian?" And Rhys was like, "No, like if I worried about him, it would be interpreted as like I don't believe in him." And so I think the dynamic is also interesting, and like that friendship that I just love that. I just love that group.
The funniest thing about this, though, is that every time I see Sarah J Maas live with her husband is always fighting her, because he says that Rhysand was inspired on him, and Sarah was like, absolutely not. She's like, I know you always want me to say that Rhysand is inspired on you, but absolutely not. It's always the funniest thing.
That's hilarious.
They're great together. I love them. Yeah, no, it's not. She says that very, very publicly. From the sounds of the description of his parents, if they hadn't killed Tamlin, it would still be the same. They were the epitome of a woman's place, is in the kitchen, pregnant and barefoot. Yeah. I hate that I don't know why he is this way. Lucian is very closed off because of what happened to the love of his life, but I can't find an explanation to Tamlin's behavior as far as Feyre or women.
The thing is, sometimes men just be like that, and we don't even need to psychoanalyze. We just go like, and then move on. Like, He was not,
You're right.
not worth the time anymore because he was just, I don't know, he was just not it. He wasn't it.
Yeah.
Move on.
But this though, the fact that Reason is not afraid to admit that one, Cassian would beat him in a fight. He's like, he would 100% win. Like, that's cool. And then also when he's in his little monologue in chapter 54, and he's like, I think the moment I fell in love with you was when I saw you in the trials. Your courage reminded me so much of Cassian. It's like you can tell how much he loves his friends.
Yeah.
And he's like unafraid to say it. I love it. I love it so much. I just love the inner circle. Also, the whole talk about Feyre needing to provide an heir, gross. Look,
Not my favorite. Nope.
anyone who has to provide an heir for Tamlin, sorry
Good
for
luck.
whoever, and good luck to whomever is going to fill those shoes, because that's going to be a tough time.
And I just appreciate at the end when she was explaining to, when they were like finally mated, whatever. And she was like, I want to selfishly like love you and go on adventures with you before I even think about having kids. And I don't know why that resonated with me so much. I think because like I'm getting older, but it's like, dang, for real, like I don't even want to think about having kids ever. Like I just want to live my life with the person I love. Like I was just like, I love that scene.
Yeah, I mean, again, coming from a household where my mom had me when she was 22, and she was definitely in that situation where she had me, and she was like, I couldn't live like my youth because I had to take care of you, and now she's living her youth, and she's like 42. So
Right.
that's the place where she's at, and yeah, I definitely appreciate Feyre just being honest and saying, like, admitting her truth and being like, I just want to spend time with you, even if that sounds selfish.
Okay,
And
also, because we're like kind of near the end of the book, the thing, when they were like, we're going to break the bond, but we also secretly got another bond.
Oh no!
I've been
I
waiting
was
for-
in heart palpitations. I was like, the bond is broken. The bond
No,
is
I was
broken.
literally freaking out, and I've been waiting for a time to bring this up. So thank you, Rachel. Like literally, I was freaking out. I was like, no.
I was freaking. I didn't know what was happening. That scene just happened so fast. Like
Yeah.
just the last 100 pages of ACOMAF happened in like 2 minutes. I was like, what is happening? I was like, what? People are getting thrown in cauldrons. Bonds are breaking. I was like, people are mating. I was like, what is happening?
For real though, it's like I've always read this book like digitally, and this is the first time I'm reading it physically, and I was like, oh, like the bond thing is gonna come up in like page 400, and then the rest of the book is gonna be like the rest 200 pages, and then it happens in page 500, and I'm like, wait a damn minute, you won't tell me the whole cauldron bond thing? Feyre goes back to the spring court is in a span of 100 pages.
Yes.
It's so short. It's so
And
fast.
it's like 5 minutes. Like the whole interaction is like 5 minutes long.
I know.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like I remember reading that for the first time in like 2017, just like in my bedroom, just at night. I was like, wait, no. I was hyperventilating. The tears were just flowing. I was like, no, wait, she's going back to the spring. And I was so freaked out. And for a second, I actually doubted it. I was like, wait, did Reason actually manipulate Feyre? Like what's happening? Like, or did they plan that? I was so freaking confused reading that. And then I was like, hey, boss ass bitch, we love it.
Period, okay?
We love it. Okay. I cried because I didn't know that Reese didn't know what she was doing. And I was like, and you know what? That's where we appreciate Reese just for going along with it. And even Moore was also going along with it. Moore was like, let's go. Like, hey, let's back up and leave people. So they all just went along with it, absolutely not knowing what was going on. The way Reese and Feyre hid it from us, like rude.
No, for real. I was over here I was getting heart palpitation. Like I was really stressed.
I was happy because I was like, basically like 80% of this book has been everyone being like, it's great, we're getting along, it's so wonderful. I want conflict. You guys have been simping over each other now for like a good 100 pages. I'm ready for some conflict, but don't make me feel pain. Like, don't make me feel that kind of pain. There's a different pain versus like, I want this to happen, but I don't know if we're gonna get it, but I'm waiting and I'm excited, versus like, you guys suck and I'm in pain. I didn't want the second one, but we got the part of the first one because it was like, what's the truth? Do they know each other's plan? Did they talk about this? And then when they were like, we got a second bond. I was like, second bond.
But honestly, that's the thing, that when Amron at the end was saying, like, that's not possible. Like, you cannot break the mating bond. Like, it's impossible. And he goes, we know.
Okay.
And this is where this kicks in. Like, the king of Hybern, one brain cell, okay? One. He didn't even check. He was like, I'm afraid of the first thing I see.
I will never let that go. Like, he really thought he did something. Like,
I know.
Like, if I was in the inner circle, I would have been like, what a freaking idiot. Like,
Not only that, like, not only breaking the wrong bond, but throwing her sisters in there and then letting them take the sisters. It's like, you are the worst villain ever.
He watched it happen for like 20 minutes and then he was like, wait, they took that. Man.
When Durian was
Oh my god.
he was like, my evil plan coming to fruition. And then he's like,
Wait.
I'm like, I'm just imagining like the aftermath when like the inner circle's gone and he's just left there standing like, huh?
we did know mates were a thing because Tamlin had talked about his parents before. So we did know the mate thing.
Okay, but did I remember that? Not really. Okay, because I'm very happy. Everybody has like all this in-depth discussion and it's fantastic. But I'm just over here like, did that? Oh, yeah. I remember the bone carver. He was like this child, and they were asking questions. I remember. Okay.
Okay, a theory with the bone carver, which has always been a theory ever since I read ACOMAF for the first time, is that people were saying that is the physical representation of what their child would look like.
Why?
Because if you read the description, it's like he reminded me so much of Rhysand with his eyes, with his hair, with his complexion, and it was like,
okay.
Interesting.
Okay, wait.
Is that more in Apple War though? So I wouldn't comment much more on it, but that's a theory.
I have questions.
Rachel. Hey, that part had me laughing and crying for real though. It's like worst mastermind ever. Like, me too. There are sometimes when I really think I did something, my friends are looking at me like, you what? I mean, and Jurian's like, too. It's like, what? one shared brain cell between all of them. Well, we know who inspired Hybern now. One brain cell is correct. I honestly thought it would have been more fun if the mating bond had broken and then Feyre and Rhys would have had to overcome that and find love without the bond. And that's actually interesting. And that's where my thing comes in. It's like Feyre and Rhys already have like this thing with the mating bond. Will Maas go along with the Lucian Elaine thing with the bond as well because it's already been done with Feyre and Rhysand, or will she try to explore a different avenue where it's like I choose love instead of accepting my destiny?
That's why I'm Team Azriel and
Well, and that I kind of feel like that might happen because Feyre and Rhysand, like Feyre had time to like get to know Rhys and like actually start to like love him before that she knew that she was the mate, you know? And then, but with Elaine, Lucian was literally just like, you're my mate.
Yeah.
Accept it.
Literally.
I know. He literally grabs her and he's like, we're mates. It's like, huh?
And she's
That's
like,
okay, I don't know what it is, but like I listened to the audiobook and like the way that they spoke that part was just so good. Cause it was just him like looking up and saying like, you're my mate. And it was just like the most like unfiltered, the most raw like emotion that he was just feeling all of a sudden in that moment where it was just like, this is it. You're it. That's it. Your end game. That's it.
Yeah. Again, the whole bone carver thing. Y'all are not ready for book 3.
Book 3 is a trip.
Okay. Reese talks about his mom refused the bond with his dad, right? I do believe at first she was like, nah, but then they accepted it.
No, it was like love at first sight for them. I thought with Reese and his mom.
What I know it was for his dad.
There was some conflict between the two because like they
Yeah.
met each other, but like I think maybe she was already like engaged to somebody or something.
Oh yeah, I do remember Reese saying like they were mated, but they were not right for each other. Like,
Yeah, I remember that part.
yeah. Also, this though, I agree. It just shows again that healthy like communication dynamic of like I see you, you see me. Let's talk about it and not ignore the situation at hand because we both are messed up right now.
Yeah.
And I agree. As better end up happy or Miss Maas better catch a can.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I think it would be interesting to explore a non-romantic avenue with.
I would love that so much. That would be
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, I think again because it's already been done with Thea and Reese. I just need to see a different dynamic because if not, it's just going to be repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
What if okay, well I don't know what's gonna happen in Akawar or like future books or whatever, but like what if Lucy and Elaine are just like, we're best buds, and that's just the whole book. It's just like we're the best friends. There's no romance. It's just purely platonic. It would be like a 5-page book, but like we could explore it. It would be a time.
I mean, I think there definitely could be like a book about Elaine and her like exploring how she fits into this world because we all know Elaine is like hella fragile. Like
Yeah.
Elaine, like Nesta can survive this because she's tough. Okay, she about to kill everyone, but Elaine's sheltered, so it'd definitely be something like interesting to explore, and that's why because of Asriel's nature, because he's like so comforting. That's why I feel like maybe he fits in better with Elaine than Lucian.
Yes.
So maybe, but it would also be too convenient for all of the sisters to end up with people from the inner circle. So conflict. I'm conflicted.
I feel that.
It would be too easy, but I also feel like it's exactly what's going to happen.
That's exactly what's going to happen. I agree. Wasn't the dad like trash and the mom loved him? Yes. That's exactly how it happened. Yes, I read that part how Rachel heard it. It broke my heart when the confrontation with Lucian and Feyre said, you gave up on me. But he literally did.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
was a good scene because she actually confronted him with it. And
I
it was
know.
like, I'm just going to let it fade back. But he was like, you're a part of the problem. You allowed this to happen to me. You didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And he didn't. And he was just like, oh, shit.
This when they're training and it's just dark, and then Cassie and Asriel start like sparring in the dark, and they're just like, it's fine, okay, comforting. So that would be
I have a question. Speaking of comfort, because everybody always says ACOMAF is their comfort read.
Mhm.
Why? Just what?
I mean, I don't know if I'd call it a comfort read. I definitely just say it has everything that I like. Like the plot twist is there, like the maid thing, like the maid trope is something that I personally really enjoy. Like the ending is like again hella fast paced. And I don't know. I think maybe for me is I read it at the right time and it just became a staple in like my reading journey. Because I read this in I was like 17 at the time. So that's like what really made me get into like hardcore fantasy. I was like, I love this. So yeah, I don't know if I'd call it necessarily a comfort read, but I love it. It's got everything I need.
That's fair. I always wondered because I didn't know like what ACOMAF even was, and then when I finally read it, I was like, everybody's always talking about how like they're crying. There's so much trauma in this book, and I was like, this doesn't seem very comforting to me.
It's so stressful. Like there's so many like, elements to it that don't make it a soft read. But I think again, it just has all of the elements that I personally enjoy in like a fantasy. So yes, I got no idea what's going to happen with Cassin and Nesta. Okay, got no idea. I'm interested though because
I can't wait to find out because I need to know.
I'm so mad that Miss Maas says she cut out a threesome. Okay, I'm mad.
Oh yeah, I just heard about that.
I'm mad. I don't know if this is going to happen, but it'd be interesting. Maybe. I don't think I see.
I don't
Elena.
foresee this happening.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, I think that's Nesta's place.
I get the impression that like each of these characters will change a little bit throughout the story, but I don't think they'll completely change their personalities the way like Tamlin did, because I don't think that's the point. Like there isn't any like real reason plot wise to like totally shift the characters into something else, unless Sarah J Maas is just like, let's just do it because it's trendy. But I feel like plot character wise, it doesn't make too much sense for her to do that. I think it would be better and stronger to have a character be soft the whole time and be like, this is not okay.
I guess you can turn your brain off.
Hey, Elizabeth, I did, and that's why I didn't really like it that much.
Oh my god.
I mean, like, I totally find everything that you guys are saying very, like, it's very great and interesting to discuss these things. I just think that for me, yes, it was way too long for me. And also, I just felt like we had to suddenly start taking things really seriously that we didn't in the first book. Because the first book was about toppling a cartoonishly evil villain. And then the second one was like, there's a real war and we actually have to worry about this stuff and we actually have to train. And now there's all of this. And I was like, okay, so now there's just like so much of this stuff that like I liked everything up to like the first kind of like heist thing that they did to get like the first half of the book, but I felt like a lot of stuff that happened after that was just like so much going on.
I like suffering, so that's probably why I love ACOMAF so
Hey,
much.
it's comforting at times, but I don't know. I
just want to read about a threesome. That's not too much to ask. But she did say there's threesomes in Crescent City too, so I'm here for you.
I can't wait to Crescent City.
I can't even talk about it.
I agree. Like, I love the fact that Elena's soft. Like, she's out there, like, plucking her little flower. She's, like, doing the most, okay?
She's the soft sister. Nesta's
Yeah.
the hard ass. Like, I agree. I don't think that it's going to change.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean.
Can I just say, Deshaun heard threesome. He's like, what are you guys reading?
Hey, Deshaun, go play games. But also, I love how SJM incorporates that in all of her books because it's also in Crescent City, it's also in Throne of Glass, and she's like been a very big advocate about mental health because she's like gone through that herself. So she always wants to include that in her books, and I think that's great, especially in fantasy. So she cut that out for being too hot for her. Oh, her hubby doesn't know who was involved. Yeah, I know she said she was ashamed of it. She was ashamed of people reading that scene because it was too much. So she had to cut that out. So
I'd love to read it then.
Yeah, same.
Sounds great.
It sounds like
Here's the Patreon link. I will get the secret 4th chapter.
I know, like just release it on your website, like with a secret passcode. I'll read it. Okay, I'll be one of the readers. I'll pay 99 cents for it. When Reese revealed he was captured in the war and how they put arrows in his wings. Yeah, and then they did it again when they shoot him off the sky. I hate it here.
Yeah, not comforting.
No, it's stressful. I think Elaine will remain soft but strong. I mean, we did get some sort of like strong from Elaine in this book where she was like standing up like, y'all are going to hear what she has to say. Okay, like y'all sit down. So she's like very soft spoken though. So it doesn't come across as like aggressive, but she definitely has some sort of a backbone. Yeah, SJM fumbled the series by starting ACOTAR's Throne of Glass is the same. Throne of Glass starts out as a Cinderella retelling. For what? I don't know.
I was like, when I read Throne of Glass, I was like, where's this? I got the Cinderella part. Like,
no, she literally said, what happened if Cinderella was actually an assassin and she had to be put in a competition? It's like, that's not
what Cinderella is.
That's not Cinderella. Miss Maas.
It makes no sense.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Ashamed? Absolutely never. Jaleesa knows. Okay. Special edition with the cut. I'll buy 5 copies of the book just to get that one scene. Yes. I'd pay for it. Yes. Yes. Prepare yourselves for Act War. It has a lot of political intrigue. Yes, it does.
Oh, I love political intrigue.
I know you're gonna love it.
You're gonna love it. It's literally like meeting after meeting, meeting after. I love it.
Okay. All right. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like if people are very clever and they can get through like a serious war or whatever, then I'll be like more into it and whatever.
You don't want Elaine to turn evil.
Wait, what?
That's never gonna happen. I don't see it happening.
Why would Elaine be evil?
Yeah. I don't see it. No.
It's okay. This is what fan fiction is for.
Yeah.
Right, there you go.
Let Elaine be happy and soft, okay? And yes. When are y'all starting Aqua War? Aqua War is for March, and we're gonna do Aqua War and the novella, both of them, in March. No, February. Sorry.
What?
I was gonna say March.
No, February. I don't know why I think we're already in February. Anyway, yeah, February is gonna be Aqua War and Aquafos. That's the plan. So yeah. Aqua War's war scenes and political scenes are incredible. I was on the edge of my seat during those moments. I know Rachel is gonna love Aqua War.
So good. I was like, I don't know your taste, but it sounds like you're gonna love Aqua War.
Yeah.
I can't even explain my taste anymore. Like when I try to get people to recommend me stuff, they're like, I don't even know.
Okay, no, it has everything you like. It's like it's the hidden identity spy thing. It's the political intrigue. It's the war scenes. It's the plot twist. It's the subversion. Like everything's in there.
Okay, all right. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. The thing is, like, I don't think my library has the audiobook, so I'm going to actually read it physically, which means I might actually retain knowledge when it comes.
Okay.
So I'll have thoughts as I read for the first.
Yes. Aqua Silver Flames is March. So February is going to be Aqua War and Aquafos. Aw, Abby. And then March is going to be Aqua Silver Flames.
Flames.
Are we doing Crescent City in March? No. No.
No? Question mark?
Question mark. I'm reading for my Aqua War reread. Same. That's the book that I read the least. I usually reread ACOMAF by itself. So yeah. Can we do a Crescent City read too?
I've read it twice already.
Yeah, I've read it twice already, but I could consider it, I guess.
I don't think I want to go through that pain again. I was in pain.
Yeah,
I need time.
But we could consider it. Supposedly Crescent City 2 comes out on November 2nd. We are not sure though, because there hasn't been any official announcement. So ain't no Aqua War reread, Kelly. Even doing that book is too long. I already know Jaleesa was going to
Jaleesa literally was like, she was so stuck after reading Aqua War. She didn't even know what to do with herself.
Yeah.
She sat there for like a day.
Oh my
I'm
God.
nervous. I'm nervous. It's a long book.
But this too, though, with like the water wolves and her like killing like all of the like little thingies. But
Okay. I, as the 2.5-star person, I feel the need to say the thing where she killed the adder. Fine, but like I did not like what she said when she killed it, because it was like, this is for this, and this is for this, and this one's for me, and I was like, like just kill him, stop, like come on.
Okay, so if you read other SJM books, you'll see that she actually does that in other books as well.
No.
Yes.
Like every death is meaningful.
Yeah.
Just kill them. Oh my God, we don't have time. Just kill them. There's more stuff going on. People are dying. Oh my God, come on.
Oh my God, it's too much. But yeah, I don't know if we've got any last thoughts. We've been here for an hour and 37 minutes. Any other final thoughts we want to put out there?
Oh, I do.
Oh,
Actually, last night, I really wish. Okay, I was telling Mel, I wish SJM would come out with something similar like the Shadowhunters Codex with Cassie Clare, but with like Amryn and like all the creatures that exist in this world.
in the prison thing, like in the rock.
Yeah, like the Bone Carver, Amryn, the little shadow thing that comes up in Aqua War. Like there's so many like weird creatures that I've just never, like I just would like to explore the non-Fae in this world.
Yeah, that's super fair.
Yeah, because again, oh my God, I mean, Sydney will see this when she gets there, but all of SJM's worlds are connected. So
Are they?
Yeah, Amryn will make more sense once you get to Kingdom of Ash. A little bit.
Oh.
Yes.
I was like, Mel was telling me that last night. I was like, I've just read Throne of Glass. I want to know all the things. I want to connect the dots. Like,
Yeah, so I definitely want to see more of Amryn because like she outdates like written word and like the cauldron itself. It's like way like
I want to know more. Like what the heck? Like no one even knows what the heck she is.
Right.
Yeah.
Do we ever find out what she is in this series?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Check.
Isn't there a spoiler for Avatar Aqua War in Kingdom of Ash? No. No, there's not. Rachel, I love your YouTube name.
Thank you.
Let me in.
I don't know if I'd consider what is in Kingdom of Ash a spoiler because it's not actually factual.
What?
Y'all will see when you get there. Y'all will see what I mean. So,
Okay, wait. Should I read Throne of Glass?
oh, you'll absolutely love it.
Let me tell
Will
you.
Yeah, because it doesn't have as much romance. It's more political. There's more war. There's the spy thing. There's the assassin thing. There's the competition thing in the first book. It's like you like it.
And
Okay.
right, I read Assassin's Blade last month, and I had like low expectations. Like I never thought that I would read the Throne of Glass series, but I read Assassin's Blade, and I loved it.
Mhm.
It's so interesting, and I was like so pleasantly surprised. So like we might have been on the same level before, of like maybe wanting or not wanting to read it. Possibly, I don't know. But
I feel like as long as I go in without like too many expectations, but with the idea of like, sure, I'll read it, then I'll probably
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll probably give it a shot. I just don't know when. But
Okay.
Okay, also, while we're wrapping thoughts back on ACOMAF, why were they licking each other so much? Too much. Too much. Because they were like, okay, this is a literal line that they said where they were like, my lick will shake the mountains. And I was like, what are
Hey, okay.
you talking about?
hey,
No.
if you know, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
For real though,
Answer.
the scene under the mountain, not under the mountain, on the Court of Nightmares, when she's like grinding on reset, she's like, he's licking me, I'm licking him. And I'm like, is this like a lick fest? Like, for real though? He's going, and then she's going. So like,
How is this supposed to be attractive? Like, I feel like this, like, people are watching them, and that was the point. But they could just do anything. Like, they were just like, we are going to be full freaks on display. Like, okay, yes,
Oh my God.
growling, roaring, licking. They would not stop. They were just constantly like, he roared, he growled.
I mean,
my God.
to be fair,
The bond.
More in Amryn also like destroyed a mountain. So like the whole mountain thing is like.
I was just about to say, when Moore was like, when she first got her period, the freaking mountain shook. I was like, I can't deal. Can you imagine every time you got your period, the freaking earth started shaking? Like, what? I was just like,
Okay.
And
But this I found sexy though.
He purred.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine, but just like a couple times. But this was like all he did, where they were like, he roared. I was like, stop. Like, what? Stop. Like, if I was hanging out with a guy and he was like, rah, I'd be like, bye.
oh my God, I love that. I love that you feel the same. This is why I'm not a smut liking person. That's probably why I don't feel the same way with chapter 55 like I do with everyone else. Because I just couldn't read. I just couldn't read.
It was so much.
I
Okay,
was like, there's a lot going on.
I think like I didn't read like a lot of smut for a long time because I was very embarrassed. But then I started reading like some more romance, and I was like, wait, I think I actually like really enjoy this. If there's like a good relationship, I actually like reading this thing. But then when I got to chapter 55, which apparently is infamous, not that I know anything, they were like, they wouldn't stop. They wouldn't stop. I was like, oh my God, this is so stop. Oh my God, take a blood, eat some soup. Relax. Oh my God. There was so much. It's like to a point where I was like, I think this is too much. Because like they had sex on her paint. And I was like, this is so unsanitary.
Okay.
Oh my God. This is what I think the exact same thoughts. I was like,
Okay, but this time around, I literally noticed. Farah said I dipped my hand into the paint and touched him all over his head.
Also, he painted an arrow down to like her vagina to be like, this is where it's gonna go, and I was like, okay, I was expecting it to be like. Then he painted an arrow to my asshole to ask if we would do. I was like, oh my god,
This is why I could not get through it. I'm not gonna lie. I just couldn't. What happened?
Where I was like,
Okay, the only paint scene I liked from ACOMAF was when they were like, it was Starfall night, and they were like little glow thingies on them. I thought that was so cute.
Yeah.
okay, I have the impression from the first book that Feyre can't paint, but she thinks she can paint.
I agree.
Because the entire time in ACOTAR, she's like, I want to paint this thing, but I couldn't. I saw this thing was so beautiful, but I know I could never paint it. And I was like, have we considered that maybe Feyre just can't paint that well? Because I just feel like she was always like, I could paint this thing. And it was like, everyone's like, oh, okay. And like, nobody was like, wow, amazing. Except for when people were just like trying to get in her pants. And they were like, wow, it's really good. Anyway, you want to go on a romantic thing? And I was like, I just don't really feel like she's that good at painting. So like, I don't know, partially that took me out of the fiction for 54 when he was like, I saw you painting these little flowers, and I was like, were they good though? And she was like,
that took me out though. I was literally talking to like, oh my god, I will never get over how Reese says you have a bank account in Valaris.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
They don't even have phones and you got a bank account? How does that even work? I'm confused. I'm sorry. No. She really can't paint. I'm convinced too.
Yeah. So I mean, she was like, I'm going to the cabin to paint. Leave me alone. I was like, okay, like let her do it. But I just don't really feel like whatever she painted, and then I forget, like somebody came and was like, cool, and like drew some stick figures. And I feel like if it was like amazing art, you wouldn't do that. So I just feel like it was like kind of the same level.
I was just like, who paints freaking eyeballs in your house? I was like, I would have been so.
You know who does that? You know who does that? When you're like 14 and you just learned like to like draw anime, and you're like, I can only draw the eyes, and you just Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No.
That is heck of
She like drew the wings. Okay, that's like Tumblr stage, and she painted the eyes. Yeah.
I'm telling you, Feyre's a weeb. It's confirmed at this point.
Feyre painting Dev could have been a smaller part of her personality. Yes.
Yeah, I think in the second book they were kind of like, we gotta mention that she paints, but it was like not at the forefront anymore, which is probably a good thing.
Feyre thought she was Rapunzel. Yeah, this part. That's the only thing that mattered. Yeah.
That was cute.
Rachel connecting all the dots. Yeah. Well, as a pro artiste, Rachel is right about the eye.
Look, I've been there where it's everyone's like, can you draw something? And I'm like, I can only draw eyes. Like I can just draw an anime eye. That's it.
That's hilarious. Oh, but okay, everyone. I think this is it, right? I think we've said everything. Yeah, we've all said our piece. So yeah, thank you everyone in the chat for joining. Again, February is going to be ACOWAR and ACOFAS. So yeah, the date for the live show is still to be defined in the time as well. So just, be on the lookout for all of that info. All of their channels are linked down below. So you guys know what to do, okay? If you like their vibe, And yeah, thank you all for joining. And we shall see you on February with the next Thorns and Roses-A-Long live show. So we love you guys, and we shall see you on